Conjunctions that indicate doubt or uncertainty. Does anybody remember what a conjunction is?
The word joining two phrases.
Perfect, perfect. A word that joins two phrases or clauses, exactly. So we're going to learn a few more that indicate doubt and uncertainty. So remember that, I think that was Sophie who said it. Conjunctions link two ideas together. And those ideas are phrases or clauses. So we had a bunch before, like when, and other conjunctions of time, until, things like that. But today, all of them have to do with doubt. So we have 4. Five. A menos que, con tal de que, en caso de que, para que, and antes de que. So we have these 4 clauses that all indicate doubt. Because you're not quite sure that the next thing is going to happen. So the first clause happens, and then we get one of these conjunctions. And then the next activity that happens, we're not really sure if it will happen or not. So a menos que means unless. Con tal de que is kind of as long as, or given that, or provided that. En caso de que is in case. Para que is so that. And antes de que is kind of before. Before something else happens. Okay, and you can see that all of these phrases would indicate doubt. So you could say, we'll go to the beach tomorrow unless it rains. And then our verb llover, which is an O to UE stem changing verb, would be conjugated in the subjunctive. We'll go to the beach tomorrow unless it rains. We don't know if it's going to rain tomorrow or not. And unless this thing happens, we will go to the beach. So that's why the second verb is in the subjunctive. We could also have kind of the opposite. We'll go to the beach as long as it's nice. We know that our euphemism of hacer is hago, so our subjunctive would be haga. How are we doing, you guys? You following me? Okay. Great. Lots of yeses. Thank you. Okay. We also had para que, and I don't know if you guys remember when we were learning por and para. Para was always it was always kind of meant so that, like in order to. But here we're giving two different activities together. So you might say, I study a lot so that I can get good grades, or so that I get good grades. So all of these things, the first activity happens for sure, or we think will really happen, as long as the next thing happens or doesn't happen, right? So it's kind of the first thing will be true given that the second thing is true. But since we're not sure the second thing is going to be true, we put it in the subjunctive. Okay, so all of those 5 phrases would be followed by a subjunctive verb. There's a couple of things to look out for. When phrases, like our conjunctions, don't include que, the verb stays in the infinitive. The verb stays in the infinitive. So when there's no que in those things, our verb doesn't get conjugated. So you might see things like I study to get good grades. I study to get good grades, which is just a little bit different than I study so that I earn good grades. It's just a little different. But if there's no que, then we don't need to put the verb, the second verb, into the subjunctive. You could also say, we don't eat before we swim. That's not how you spell that. We don't eat before swimming. No comemos antes de nadar. So if there's no que in these phrases, then this word stays in the infinitive, you don't conjugate it. If there is a que, you put it in the subjunctive. And that kind of makes sense because we've always seen K with the subjunctive. In every phrase that we've learned, there's always been K. All right, guys, do you have questions right now about this topic, these 5 new phrases? Okay, you guys are quick on the nose. That's good. All right, so a little bit about the rest of the week since it's the last week of school. You have an assignment tonight, due tonight. On Thursday, there's another Zoom. It's going to be a kind of wrap-up Zoom, but it's still important that you come for participation credit. And on Friday, you're not going to have a new assignment, but I'm going to give you guys that day to work on any missing work. So this is the assignment for today is the last one of the quarter. And all of your missing work, I think you guys probably saw this notice, but all your missing work is going to be due by Sunday. Okay, so anything that's not handed in by Sunday, I'm not going to accept. All right, and Becca, I see your question. This assignment is going online at 3 because I have to wait until my other Zoom meeting happens so that people don't start it before they've seen these notes. Yeah, it's due at 8. So that's 5 hours. It's a 10 question Google form. I think you'll be okay. All right. So if there's no questions about this stuff, then we're good to wrap up. Okay. All right. Adios.